Hey everybody, welcome to the presentation on MLA Format. I'm going to show you how to format your paper in MLA Format, which is required for your papers. I am in Microsoft Word, which I encourage you to use as well because you have free access to that using Microsoft Office. And I have downloaded Microsoft Word and Microsoft Office onto my computer, which you also can do for free. Or you can use it in your 365 account, which is in the cloud, and it should be very comparable for what I'm going to show you today anyway. So this is how you're going to deal with MLA formatting. And every time you open up a new document, which I just opened up a brand new document, so this is the default. The default is Calibri is our font right here. So that's the first thing we need to change because this is the incorrect font. Because the correct font is Times New Roman. So you're going to click on this little drop down arrow here and you can see that Calibri has been checked. Now you can also see that Times New Roman is right here on my computer, but do you see where it says recent fonts? Those are fonts that I choose a lot. So I choose in Times New Roman a lot because I teach English and so I use it a lot. If you open up your choice of fonts, it might not be there if you have never chosen it. So what do you do then? Do you just give up and not do Times New Roman? No, because you have to scroll. So this says all fonts. So you just have to scroll and it's all in alphabetical order. So you're just going to scroll down to the T's and we're getting closer. There's the S's, almost there, slowing down. And there it is right there, Times New Roman. And so you just click on that and then you can see in this window right here, Times New Roman is there. So it's correct. The other thing you need to change is the font size. Some people really like to use 11-point font, but for MLA format, 12-point font is what is required. So you need to make sure that if this doesn't say 12, sometimes it's a default at 12, so you have to just check. Then you have to change it. So now my font is correct. It's the correct type and the correct size. All right, so that's your first job, is to make sure that your font is correct. The next job is to make sure your margins are correct. And in order to find your margins, you need to go to Layout. And the Layout is going to show you a different navigation bar. So you're going to click on Layout, and you can see that the nav bar changed, right? And so then you just need to check. Here's your margins. You're going to choose the drop-down arrow again, and you're going to see if it's selected normal. And mine is selected at normal. So it's top 1 inch, bottom 1 inch, left 1 inch, and right 1 inch, and that is correct. 1 inch margins all the way around is what you want. So I don't have to do anything because that's already selected for me. All right, so now I'm going to go back to the home navigation bar. There we go, and now I'm back home. So the next thing I need to do is I need to make sure that my document is double spaced, because that is MLA format, is double spaced. So you're going to go to this icon right here. And it has like two arrows, one's pointing down, one's pointing up, and then it sort of looks like a paragraph right here. And if I hover over it long enough, it says line and paragraph spacing. So I'm going to go to that drop-down menu right here. And I want to do double spaced. And see, right now it's checked at single space. 1.0 is single spacing. And I want double, so I'm going to hit 2.0. That's 2 spaces, double space. And now my document is the right margins, the right font, the right size of font, and the right spacing of lines. So that's our first thing that's invisible, right? You can't really see that I've done anything, but now we know that it's formatted correctly in the invisible space. So the next thing I need to do is do my the top of my paper, because the tops of my paper also have to be in the correct format. And the first thing is the name. So it's my first and last name here, right? That's the first thing. And then I press the return key, and you can see that it's double spaced. It skips a space. And then you have to put your professor's name. So if this was your name and you were handing something in with me, my name would be underneath it, right? So maybe instead of having my name, and that's confusing, I'll put your name, right? Your name, your professor's name, and then the class. So I'm gonna do this one so you know what to put here. You're gonna put ENGC, which is English Composition, 0900, and then usually you put the section as well. So I'm just gonna put section 12. You might be section 11, either one. So that's usually what you do. I'm not going to worry about that because you're all dumped in one D2L shell for me anyway, so it won't matter. But there are some times when it really matters, because if I have separate classes face-to-face, I sometimes get my sections mixed up because I just have not that big of a brain. So it's really important for you to put your section number as well. So that is that. And then the last thing is the date. And the date is weird because they don't write it how we usually normally write it. So you would write it with the day first and then the month, and you spell the month out, and then you put a comma and then the year. Okay, so that's how it should look. Weird? Yeah, and I'm unsure about the comma. It might not have a comma. We'll check. We'll do a check after that. So this is how your name should be. And then you return one more time. And then you have to do something different, because the next thing that you need to do, and I'm thinking that this might not be right, so I'm just going to do that and see if it, there we go. See, it didn't underline it anymore, so must be right. All right, so we are aligned to the left here, right? And for the title of your paper, it has to be centered because that's part of MLA, that's part of the format, right? And you have to know that all of formatting, you can do MLA, you can do Chicago style, you can do APA, all of these styles or formats are really nitpicky. And they expect you to know all, like where the comma is and where the period goes and what, you know, how the title is, everything. Every little detail is dictated by this format. So I can't put the title here because then it won't be in MLA format. It has to be centered. So you can see that my cursor is blinking right here. It's to the left. And you can see up here that it's chosen. This is the align left key, right? So if I want it centered, I'm going to go to the center right here. And now my cursor is moved to the center. And so then you can put your title right there. And then you just return one time. And then you're going to align left again, because then you're going to start typing your paper. So that's where you start your paper, is right there. We're missing one more thing, and that is page numbers. So if you're going to do your page numbers, there is a margin up here. And I believe that you just click on it, and it turns into a header. So you can see that the header is here. You can see that the navigation has changed, right? And now we are on the header. And now I can't type down here at all. This is just kind of frozen. And this is where we are. So I want this to be aligned to the left. And up here you can see there's no alignment, right? So I'm going to go back home. And I'm going to go to my alignment thing right here. This says align left. That's where it is. I don't want it centered. I want it aligned to the right. So I'm going to press that, and then my cursor moves over to the right. And then you're going to put your last name right? And then you're going to put the page number, which is 1, right? And then, I believe, we are in MLA format. Let's just see if this worked or not, because then you can just click in this part. You have to double click anywhere, and then we have it right there, right? And let's just see if it worked, because I want to see. And if it didn't work, I'm going to have to fix it, but I'm going to just, yeah, it didn't work. All right, so I have to figure out how to make this 1 different, because I want this to change, right? So I'm going to insert I would like to insert page numbers. So here's the page number right here. And I'm going to say page number. And my alignment is going to be left, right? Over here. Oh, nope, my alignment's going to be right. Excuse me. It's going to be over here on the right. Show number on first page, yes. And I'm going to see if that worked. All right, yep. So I need to come back up here to the footer, the header, and I need to get rid of my number 1. Here's my last name, 1. Now let's see if that works. Okay. Last name 2, right? That works. Now some of you have been handing in papers where it has like brackets here and it says last name, and you can just click on that and change it to your last name. But this also works. So that is how you put your paper in MLA format. Now it is fine. It is MLA formatted, and you're ready to start typing your paper. Right? And then you're correct. I hope that that wasn't too confusing to you. And just in case it was, I wanted to also show you that there is a place called the Purdue Owl, and I'm going to show you how to get there. So here is just my Google, and I'm going to do Purdue Owl. And you can see that I've searched this before, the Purdue Owl MLA. So that's what I was going to search. So I'm going to do that. And then it says MLA Formatting Guide, and I'm going to click on that. And then this tells you exactly what you have to do. And this is in text citation, I'm noticing. It's the style guide. If I wanted to do general format, it would be here. And this is the paper format that I just went over. And so you can see formatting the first page of your paper. It's right here. Awesome. And then also if you want a sample page, they have those. And I need to figure out where it is. See, it says general format, the basics, blah, blah, blah. MLA, Works Cited Page Basic Format, Works Cited Page Books, blah, 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 blah. Sample paper right here. So you can click on that, and then a PDF comes up and it shows you exactly what to do. And notice there is no comma there, so I did that right. And here are page numbers. Begin on the first page, page 1, and end on the final page. Type your name next to the page number in the header so that it appears on every page. So there it is, right there. Okay, so this tells you the things in blue. They tell you what to do. Blue boxes contain directions for MLA, for writing and citing in MLA style. Okay, and then the green is just explanation.